Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are taking a close look at a really fascinating paper from Science Robotics,
Mm.
all about this new concept called elasto-plastic robot compliance,
Right.
EPRC for short.
Yeah.
And we thought it'd be fun to kind of unpack this idea together and explore what it could mean for the future of robotics.
Absolutely. It's exciting stuff, and I think people are really going to be surprised by what this technology can do.
Yeah, I think so too. So just to kind of set the stage for our listeners, EPRC basically allows robots to react to unexpected forces in their environment.
Right. It's all about giving them that human-like ability to adapt.
Yeah, like imagine a robot trying to close a door,
Mm.
but then a person comes along and pushes it open.
Right.
Now, a traditional robot, it would probably just keep trying to close the door.
Yeah, they tend to be pretty rigid in their programming, either stiff or they just want to snap back to their original position like a rubber band.
Yeah.
But with EPRC, the robot can actually sense that external force, the person pushing the door,
Right.
and adjust its movement smoothly instead of just kind of fighting against it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So it's like instead of being programmed for one specific task in like this perfect scenario,
Yeah.
these robots can actually handle, a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, a little more like the real world.
A
Exactly.
little more like the real world, which is messy and unpredictable.
Yes, totally. And the researchers actually used a really great analogy in the paper.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about two people moving a table together.
Okay.
One person leads, the other adapts their movements to help. And that's kind of what EPRC lets robots do. They can switch back and forth between leading and following seamlessly depending on the situation.
So it's like they're actually cooperating, not just, blindly following a program.
Right. It's much more dynamic and responsive.
That's really cool. Okay, so how does this whole EPRC thing actually work?
Well, it all comes down to analyzing the energy flow within the robot's system. So
Right.
it can actually tell the difference between movements that are commanded by the robot itself
Mm-hmm.
and movements that are caused by forces outside of the robot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it has this internal awareness of what it's doing versus what's being done to it.
So it's like it knows when it's in control and when it needs to kind of go with the flow.
Exactly. And this energy-based approach is really what gives it that intelligent, human-like responsiveness.
That is so wild. Okay, so did they actually like test this out like in real world situations?
Oh, yeah. They did some really fascinating experiments. One of them actually involved astronauts on the International Space Station.
Wait, what?
Yeah, astronauts up in space,
Okay.
controlling robots here on Earth
No way.
to do tasks like inserting a pipe. And of course, there's a huge communication
Yeah.
play, right,
I-
between space and Earth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the EPRC actually helped the robots cooperate smoothly, even with that lag.
That is incredible. Like it's like a sci-fi movie come to life.
It is pretty amazing.
What other experiments did they do?
So another one focused on healthcare, a healthcare robot in an elderly care facility.
Okay.
And this robot could actually sense when a human was trying to open a door that it was holding,
Mm-hmm.
and it would move out of the way.
Oh wow. So instead of like a robot doorstop,
Yeah.
it's more like a robot doorman just politely stepping aside.
Exactly.
Which is, that's a perfect example of how this can make robots so much safer.
Absolutely, especially when they're working around people.
Yeah, especially when they're working around people.
Right. They also tested EPRC with a robot that was manipulating a lever
Okay.
that had to move in a circle,
Oh, okay.
what they call circular kinematics.
So not just your average, like, up and down lever action.
No, it's more complex, and EPRC helped the robot to smoothly follow that path.
That's pretty impressive. It sounds like this EPRC thing could be like a huge game changer
I think so.
in a lot of different fields. But I'm guessing there are some limitations, right? Like, I mean, every new technology comes with a few caveats.
Oh, for sure. It's still relatively new.
Right.
So there are definitely some things to consider. Like, for instance, the weight of a heavy object
Mm-hmm.
could potentially be misinterpreted as an active environment.
So, like, the robot thinks that someone is pushing down on it, but it's really just gravity.
Exactly, like it's carrying something heavy.
Gotcha.
But the researchers are definitely aware of these limitations.
Okay, good.
And they're working on refining the approach. But I think, we're still in the early stages, but it's clear that it has a ton of potential.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm already seeing so many possibilities. Okay, so just to recap for our listeners, like, what are the major benefits of EPRC that we've kind of covered so far?
Okay, so yeah, First and foremost, I would say it significantly increases the safety
Okay.
of human-robot interaction.
That's huge. And then you have the improved robot collaboration like we saw with the astronauts.
Right.
And then finally, it enables robots to handle tasks involving objects with more complex movements much more effectively.
Yeah, and all of this without needing, tons of extra sensors or these complicated models of the environment.
Right. That's one of the big advantages.
Which is huge. What really stands out to me, though, is that it's not just like a technical upgrade. It's really kind of a fundamental shift in how we can think about robots,
It is.
They're not just these rigid, pre-programmed machines anymore. They can actually be flexible and adapt to the world around them.
Yeah, it's like they're finally starting to catch up to us humans.
Right.
Like we're so good at adapting on the fly.
We are.
And now we're bringing that to the world of robots.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes us so exciting is that, it's almost like we're moving from robots as tools to robots as, like, partners.
I think that's a really great way to put it. And I know we've covered a lot already.
Yeah, we have. But there's still so much more to unpack about EPRC.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I think maybe we can kind of dive into some of those specific applications.
Yeah, let's do it.
And what this technology could really mean for the future.
I'm all for it.
Mm.
Okay, so we've established that EPRC is pretty amazing.
Mm.
But where can we actually see this making a real difference? What are some specific areas where it could really shine?
Well, I think one of the most obvious is manufacturing. Imagine robots working alongside humans on assembly lines and being able to adapt to, like, changes in the process.
Okay.
Or handle unexpected variations in the parts.
Right. So no more production line shutdowns because a robot encountered, like, a slightly off-center widget.
Exactly. It can make the whole process so much more efficient and resilient.
Yeah, I like that. Resilient.
And speaking of resilience, think about disaster relief efforts.
Okay, yeah.
Robots with EPRC could navigate really unstable terrain, clear debris, even assist with search and rescue, all while adapting to those, unpredictable and dangerous conditions.
That's a really powerful image. Robots, coming to the rescue.
Yeah.
In situations where it might be too risky to send humans.
Right.
It's like giving first responders a superhuman helping hand.
It is. It's a total game changer. And then, of course, there's healthcare. We talked about the robot doorman, but,
Yeah.
EPRC could really revolutionize assistive robotics for elderly people, people with disabilities. Imagine robots that can help with everyday tasks,
Yeah.
like dressing, bathing, or even just moving around the house.
It's like having a personalized care assistant
Yeah.
who's always there to lend a hand,
Yeah.
never gets tired or frustrated,
And never calls in sick.
and never calls in sick. That's huge. That can make such a difference in people's lives.
Oh, absolutely. And what about surgery?
Okay.
Robots with EPRC could assist surgeons with, like, incredibly delicate procedures, adapting to, the subtle movements of a surgeon's hand.
And providing real-time feedback.
So it's like taking minimally invasive surgery to a whole new level.
It really is. It seems like, the applications are pretty much limitless.
Yeah.
But I know you have a question.
I do have a question. We've been talking about EPRC mostly in terms of, like, physical tasks, interactions. What about the cognitive side of things? Can it make robots smarter, like, in a broader sense?
That's a great question. While EPRC itself focuses on the physical compliance, it does kind of lay the groundwork for robots that are more adaptable and responsive overall. If you think about it, a robot that can physically adapt to its environment is also gathering more data,
Right.
learning from those experiences.
So it's like building a better understanding of the world through its interactions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that understanding can then feed into its, decision-making processes.
Yeah.
And make it more intelligent in how it approaches tasks and solves problems.
Okay, so it's not just about, like, physical flexibility. It's about creating robots that are more adaptable, more
Right.
intelligent, like on multiple levels. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And I think it's important to remember that, this research is just the beginning.
Yeah.
As EPRC continues to develop, we're likely to see even more creative and unexpected applications.
Yeah. No, you've officially convinced me that this is a big deal.
Good.
But, with any new technology, especially one that's like this transformative, there's always concerns, right?
Right.
What about potential downsides? Are there any risks that we should be thinking about?
Yeah, of course, there are always risks and challenges with any new technology.
Right.
One potential concern is the economic impact.
Uh,
As robots become more capable, it's natural to wonder about, potential for job displacement.
right. The age-old question. Robots taking our jobs.
Yeah, it's a complex issue.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer, but it's something we need to be mindful of as EPRC and other robotics advancements, continue to evolve.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. What about other potential downsides? Anything else to consider?
Well, another concern is misuse, right? Like any powerful technology,
Yeah.
EPRC could be used for harmful purposes
Right.
if it falls into the wrong hands.
Yeah. That's a sobering thought. It reminds us that we need to be, thoughtful and responsible
Absolutely.
about how we develop and deploy these technologies.
We need to think about the ethical implications,
Mm-hmm.
make sure it's used for good, not for harm.
Okay, so, wow, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about the incredible potential of EPRC, from revolutionizing manufacturing to transforming healthcare, even helping with disaster relief efforts. We've also touched on some of the potential risks,
Right.
the challenges that we need to be mindful of. But now I want to bring it back to you, our listener. What do you think about all of this? I mean, we've talked about robots working in factories and hospitals, even disaster zones. But what about closer to home? Like, how could EPRC change the way robots interact with us in our everyday lives?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, think about household robots, right? Right now, they're pretty much limited to simple tasks like vacuuming or mowing the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
But with EPRC, they could become much more helpful and adaptable. Like, imagine a robot that can help you cook dinner or do the laundry
Okay.
or even tidy up the living room, all while, seamlessly adjusting to your movements and preferences.
Well, it's not just about pre-programmed chores anymore. It's about robots
Yeah.
that can, truly understand what you need and
Yeah.
respond accordingly.
Exactly. Like almost like a helpful roommate who's really good at following instructions and never complains about doing dishes.
That would be amazing. Never complains about doing dishes. That's key.
That is key. And think about education,
Yeah.
and entertainment.
Okay.
Robots with EPRC could be like interactive learning companions for kids,
Ah.
adapting to their individual learning styles,
Oh, wow.
helping them grasp new concepts
That's a great idea.
in a fun and engaging way.
It's like having a personalized tutor who's always patient.
Always enthusiastic, no matter how many times you ask why.
Exactly, no matter how many times. And for adults, EPRC could open up all these new possibilities for immersive entertainment experiences.
Oh,
Imagine robots that can participate in interactive theater productions.
yeah.
Or guide you through VR adventures.
Yeah.
Or even become your partner in a game of chess, adapting their strategy to your every move.
That's pretty wild. It's like blurring the lines between reality and fiction,
It is.
creating these experiences that are both engaging and unpredictable. I mean, the possibilities are it's mind-blowing. But I think, let's come back down to earth for a minute.
Okay.
We've explored all these, exciting potential applications. But I think the most important question is what does all this mean for the future of our relationship with robots?
That is the big question, isn't it? As robots become more adaptable, more intelligent.
More integrated into our lives, I think they're going to really challenge our assumptions about what it means to be human and what it means to be a machine.
Yeah, it's like we're entering this new era of human-robot collaboration,
Yeah,
where the lines are, becoming increasingly blurred.
they are. And I think with that comes a responsibility to make sure that these advancements benefit humanity as a whole.
Absolutely.
We need to have these open and honest conversations about the ethical implications, potential risks,
Yeah.
the ways that we can kind of shape this future together.
Yeah, it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to use it and what kind of world we want to create.
100%.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this fascinating world of elasto-plastic robot compliance, I want to leave you with a final thought. Something to kind of ponder as you continue to explore this, this ever-evolving landscape of robotics. What do you think?
Well, I think we've talked about robots as partners, as collaborators, even as potential companions. But at the end of the day, the future of robotics is not predetermined. It's up to us.
It is.
As humans, to decide how we want to integrate these incredible machines into our lives and what role we want them to play.
It's a future that's filled with both, immense promise and profound creatorability. So keep asking questions, keep exploring, keep imagining the possibilities, because who knows what incredible breakthroughs are are waiting for us in the world of robotics. And that's what makes this field so exciting.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep those knowledge-seeking gears turning.